Hi, welcome back. My name's Carrie. Today I'm going to give you an update on the seeds that we planted on December the 4th, and we're going to make some cookies today for Christmas. We're going to make some Crackle top molasses, Icebox cookies, and some shortbread. I wanted to give you an update on the seeds that we planted together on the 4th. You can see the chives and the rosemary still haven't germinated. The sweet basil and the spicy basil have started to germinate. Parsley still hasn't, but the cilantro has. And if you remember when we planted them, remember how I said that I'll put 2, sometimes 3 seeds in a hole because you're not always guaranteed germination. What I'll have to do is I'll have to go back and thin these out as they start to get a little bigger. The lettuce is doing great. You can see the butter crunch. It's really taken off. Again, I'm going to have to go in and do a lot of thinning out. The green veil is much slower. You can see some little sprouts coming. Hopefully in a couple of weeks we'll have enough to make a little salad. We're going to start off with the Crackle top molasses cookies. So first we have to preheat the oven to 350. Get that started. I need to put my glasses on to see here. We have to mix our oil, 1 cup of sugar, and a large bowl. So how much oil do we need? We need 2/3 cup of vegetable oil. I typically don't cook with vegetable oil. I usually use either olive oil or avocado oil, but I had a little bit of this left. I needed to use it up, so I thought I might as well just use it up. And 1 cup of sugar. The recipes that I'm using today, I will link them in the description box below so you can have them. Sugar. Mix that together. Actually, I'm going to get this. Did anybody's grandma ever tell you this myth that when you were mixing, you always had to stir one way, you couldn't stop and change the other way? My grandma used to always tell me that, and she never had a reason for why she would say that to me. So, of course, I had to test that theory. Doesn't seem to matter. Add in our egg. Add our molasses. I'm going to spray this before I put the molasses in so it's easier to come out. How much do we need? We need 1/4 cup of molasses. This is one of my favorite Christmas cookies to make. Let me know what yours is in the comments below. Okay, we're going to stir in the flour. I'm going to switch from my whisk, I think. It's just going to get all stuck together. The molasses smells delicious. Okay, we need to add our flour in, 2 cups of flour. Get that started, and then I can mix in the other ingredients. All right, before I get too much further in there, we need to add our baking soda. Good thing I have my glasses on because I was just about to say 2 cups, but I think that's not what it is. We need 2 teaspoons. Two teaspoons of baking soda. And we're gonna add in our spices. So it's a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, a teaspoon of ground ginger, and a half a teaspoon of ground cloves. We'll get all this mixed together. Oh, now it's starting to smell really good with the spices in there. This is actually a very simple cookie recipe to make. Putting it together is pretty easy. So the dough is nice and thick. Everything's all nicely mixed together. Okay. Don't want to over-mix it, but I think that's everything nicely mixed together. Got my baking sheet. I always put a piece of parchment paper down when I'm making cookies. Even if it doesn't call for it, I just find it makes it so much easier. Okay, we have a little bit of sugar that we're going to roll these in. So we're going to use my scoop, roll them into balls. Actually, I think I'll just scoop a bunch of them out here, and then I can roll them in the sugar after. How's everybody doing for their Christmas shopping? Are you ready? I think I'm pretty much finished. I might have a few little things I have to take care of, but I think for the most part I'm ready. The only thing we really have left to do is we have our Christmas lights on outside. We do not even have our Christmas tree up inside, so we're a little behind this year. Maybe that's something we'll look after this evening. Okay. You're gonna roll it, and then you're gonna roll it in sugar. Make a big mess. That's all right. I'm the one who cleans it up. I haven't heard the oven beep at me yet. I don't think it's quite up to temperature. These only take about 12 to 14 minutes in the oven. It's funny how your taste changes as you get older. As a kid, I remember we used to have these out at Christmas time, and I wasn't the least bit interested in them. And as I've gotten older, I guess my palate has changed, but they are actually now one of my favorite cookies. Okay, last two. Oh, that's got a lot of sugar on it. And I find when I'm doing a cookie like this where I am rolling it in sugar, I do like to have the parchment paper down, because if not, it all burns and makes a big mess on the pan. It's just so much easier and cleaner to deal with. Okay, so they're ready to go in the oven. I'm just gonna wash my hands here. I don't press them down. I just leave them as is and let the temperature do that for me. And we're here ready to go. We'll wait for the oven to beep. Okay, the oven's up to temperature. Let's get these in the oven. I'll set a timer for 12 minutes and we'll check back then. Okay, the timer's gone off. Let's check and see how we're doing here. Oh, they look perfect. A little trick I learned, when you take your cookies out of the oven, if you tap them on the corner of the sink, it helps flatten them. Let's take these off. Oh, they look delicious. They turned out perfect. And they smell delicious. I kind of feel like I am going to have to be making these again. Before Christmas, because I have a funny feeling they're going to get eaten up pretty quickly. Okay, one recipe down. Okay, we're gonna get started on our next batch of cookies. These will be our icebox cookies. With this particular dough, you make it and then you have to let it set in the fridge for about 4 hours. So we're gonna get that started so we can get that going. You can also freeze this dough and then come back to it after a week or so and then cut it and make cookies, which is really very useful in a busy holiday season. I just have my egg in my apron here getting up to room temperature. I better take it out before I forget and end up wearing it. Okay, we're gonna start with the dry ingredients. It's 2 2/3 cup of flour. And it calls for 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I always use sea salt in all of my cooking. Okay, we're gonna whisk those together. And then we're gonna add in 1 cup of candied cherries. They have to be candied. They can't be like the maraschino cherry. I think that would be way too wet. So then you just need to stir just to coat the cherries. You don't really need to do any mixing, just to make sure that they're coated with the flour and they're not all sticking together. Okay, we'll set that aside. And now we're gonna put our butter into our stand mixer. And we're gonna beat that till it's nice and creamy. That'll take a couple of minutes. I'm just gonna scoop the butter down off the sides. Okay, into that I'm gonna add a cup of sugar and beat that together for a little bit. Get that all incorporated nicely. Add in the egg. And it calls for 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. 1. I never measure my vanilla. Give that a couple minutes to whip together. hear the granules of the sugar in here, so I think I want to mix this a little bit longer. I'd like to get that more incorporated into the butter so it's not gritty in the cookie. It smells so good. That's looking great. Okay. Get this off the beater here. Next step is to add the dry ingredients. Get them all mixed together. And just until it starts to clump together, it doesn't, you don't add it, we don't want to overmix. That looks perfect. Get all of this off. Don't want to leave any of that delicious dough left on the spatula here. Okay, I need to go and get some plastic. I'm just going to get one little piece to start this. And then take it out and just kind of work it into a ball. There we go. Just easier to let the plastic do the work for you. Okay. What I'm going to do now is divide this in half. Where's my bench scraper? And then we're going to put it in plastic wrap, and then we're going to shape it into logs. I'm going to get a piece here. We'll get our first one here. And the trick is to try and get it shaped as evenly as you can, because when I say evenly, so that it's the thickness is consistent all the way through. Because what you're going to do then is we're going to cut this once it's sat in the fridge for 4 hours. We want it to be consistent, so that the end isn't shorter, or skinnier, I guess is a better word, than the middle of the cookie. You want them all to be the same. So you wrap it up, and there you go. I'm just gonna rub that in a little bit. It separated a bit when I was moving that around. Okay, there's one. Let's get a second one done here. Plastic wrap and I do not have a great relationship. That'll do. Okay, our second one. Get that one started down. Try and like to put the other one close to it as possible, just so that my goal is to get my cookies to be pretty much the same size if I can. So by placing them kind of side by side like that, I am not very good at eyeballing things. I think that looks pretty good. A little thick in the middle there, but turn that over. And there we go. We have 2 blocks of dough here. We're gonna put in the fridge. We're gonna let chill for about 4 hours. And we're gonna come back and cut them and cook them, okay? Okay, the dough sat in the fridge for about 4 hours. It's nice and solid. Now we're just gonna trim it, cut them into little pieces, and get them in the oven. This is when I try so very hard. I cannot cut straight. Andrew makes fun of me every time he comes behind me and cutting a piece of bread because my slices kind of tend to come like this. And I'm noticing as I am cutting these, I'm kind of on another little slant. So maybe I can figure out like a wire or something that I can use to kind of just push down on it and not rely on my hand. Okay, the oven's up to temperature. These cook at 375 for about 10 minutes. Really, in these cookies, they're not a lot of work at all. It's just the waiting for the cookies to firm up in the fridge in between making the dough. So I'm gonna get the tray out. Might still be a bit warm. I just keep using the same piece of parchment paper for all of my cooking. I should dump some of that out. There we go. And we'll lay these out. They look delicious. I've never tried it before with the red and green cherries. That would be kind of nice. Okay. Let me spread them just a little bit. Okay, let's get them in the oven. Set a timer for 10 minutes. Okay, the timer's gone off for the icebox cookies. Let's get them out of the oven. Oh, they look perfect. Just slightly browned on the edges. You don't want to overcook them. Okay, now that they're all done, let this batch cool, and then I'm going to call Andrew to come and do a taste test with me and see what his favorite is, and then I'll share with you what my favorite is. Okay, our final cookie today is going to be whipped shortbread. We're going to start by putting 3 cups of butter. You know these are going to be good when there's that much butter in them. 3 cups of butter in the mixer. And in that, we're going to add the confectioner's sugar, or the icing sugar. Half-cup measure, so I'll do it 3 times. Oops. that in. Need to get one of those sifters. My mom used to have one that you'd pour it in and then you'd go I don't know what they're called. I thought it was kind of fun. I don't see them around. All right, let's get this on here blending. Ooh. And to this, we need to add 4.5 cups of flour. Just going to use the same bowl. Beautiful. And I also need 1.5 cups of cornstarch. That's a lot of cornstarch. There we go. It's very messy. Okay, get this stuff out of the way. It says to slowly add this in. I'm just gonna use my measure here. Whoops. Add 2 cups here and get that started. This makes a very large batch of cookies, but as far as I'm concerned, you can never have too much shortbread. Mixer's getting pretty full. Ah! Let's get some of this out of here. Make it a little easier to add the last little bit. Want to make sure that everything gets mixed really well. When there's this much, you don't want to get a little pocket on the bottom of just flour and cornstarch. There we go. As you can see, I'm not a very tidy baker. I tend to make a bit of a mess. Flour everywhere. All right, I think what I'm going to do, because this is getting so full, I'm going to take this off. I'm going to take the paddle off, and I'm just going to mix it by hand. Let's get the small one out of here. just do a little wipe up here. That's pretty bad. Between the cornstarch and the flour, it just kind of flew everywhere. Let's get this one off. You're gonna need a pretty heavy spoon to do that. Get this mixed together. It's going to be really good. Don't pretend like you don't try your cookie dough. I know you do. Okay, that is nice and mixed up. We are going to have a lot of cookies. Okay, let me get my pan out here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to scoop them into balls, and then I need to put a little bit of cornstarch on my hands to roll them out so that they don't stick, because with the butter, they get very sticky. So let me get my scoop out. Bring the cornstarch back. Actually, I've got a little spoon in there, but I think I'm just going to scoop for now. Scoop them out onto the pan, and then we can go back and roll them. And we have to go back and put a bit of cornstarch in the scoop here. I usually put sprinkles on them. I'm not going to do that this year. I think I just want plain cookies. Oh, I should get the oven preheated actually. What does that need to be at? 300 degrees. I don't think it'll take long to heat up. It's probably still a little warm from our first batch of cookies. Okay. So put a little bit of cornstarch in my hand. And let's roll the dough. I also have a massive piece of milk chocolate I need to figure out what to do with. My youngest granddaughter entered into a gingerbread making contest at an event at Children's Safety Village, which is located in Belleville. It's a spot that I volunteer at. And she won a 10-pound chocolate bar. So I asked my daughter if I could have just a little chunk of it for some Christmas baking. She dropped it off yesterday while we were out running some errands, and when I came home, probably about half of this chocolate bar was left for us. So I think I might be making some more fudge, or maybe I'll do some, maybe dip some fruit in some chocolate for when we do our Christmas dinner, maybe as part of a dessert. Okay, I need to get a fork so I can press these down. I'm just going to dip it in the cornstarch here so that it's not going to stick. In shortbread, you don't cook as long. Well, the temperature's also it's a little lower. It's 300 degrees for shortbread. But you cook it just till it's lightly browned. Okay. Just have to wait for the oven to come to temperature and then we'll get them in. We're almost there. Okay, the oven's ready. I'm gonna put them in. Set a timer for 20 minutes. We'll check back after that. Oh, perfection. Looks like we're running out of room here. Okay, there we have it. Another one down. Okay, I asked Andrew to come and join me. We're gonna have a little taste test and we're gonna let you know what each of our favorites is.
All right, sounds good.
Do you notice my cut? It's like the bread.
It's a little crooked, but it's okay. It'll still taste good.
That's good.
Icebox cookies. Always love these. They're so good. Love the cherries in them.
Yeah, they're good. I was saying I've never used the red and green. Might try that the next time.
That'd be good.
So shortbread. Oh, look at that. Yes. Oh, that's perfect. It crumbles in your mouth.
Wow, that's really good.
That was really good. Oh boy.
This is your favorite.
It is my favorite. And so far out of the two, shortbreads.
It's a winner.
This is definitely the one. That's so good.
Uh-oh. Perfect. Still the icebox cookies are the
That's
best.
your favorite?
Absolutely.
I'd say mine was the molasses.
Good job, honey.
Thanks. That's it for this video. Thanks for joining us. Looking forward to seeing you next time. Bye, friend.
Bye for now.